बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मा.
Okay, so probably in this section we'll talk about something about spanning tree protocol, STP. Now in this we'll be seeing what are why STP is used. So spanning tree protocol is commonly used for stopping some of the bridging loops. So first we'll try to understand what are bridging loops and how they occur, and then we'll see how exactly the STP is going to prevent those loops, STP loop prevention mechanism. So starting with what are bridging loops. Now bridging loops are nothing but, let's say we have a network. Now in this network we got two switches. So typically in the production scenarios you will see you may have some multiple switches in your network, like you got some users connecting here. Let's say you got 20 users, let's say you got 40 users in your company network, and you got a switch with a 24 port switch, and practically you cannot connect the 40 users to this 24 port switch, so you'll be going with another switch, or maybe on a different floor or on the same floor, and we connect some 20 users here and 20 users here, and then we bring some cross cable connection between the two switches, which provides a LAN connection. So similar way you may have multiple switches, and then we'll be connecting a cross cable between the switches to extend your LAN. So when we talk about LAN, it may include multiple switches. Like in this case also I'm using two switches, and if the computer here wants to talk to another computer on the other side of the switch, so we need to have at least one minimum one cross cable connecting between the switches. So but the problem is, what happens if that link fails? So if the link goes down due to some reason, connectivity issue or port issue, so basically the users on the switch 1 will not be able to communicate with the users on the switch 2. So there will be a single point of failure. So to avoid this single point of failure, what we can do is we can use another link. So typically recommended to have at least 2 or more connections between the switches. So this will provide you something called redundancy. Now redundancy means if any one of the link fails due to some reason, still you have the users of the switch 1 can communicate with the users on the switch 2 via another link. So the good thing about having multiple links between the switches is going to provide you the redundancy, but at the same time the problem is, so whenever you're connecting your LAN with redundant links or multiple links, especially in the Ethernet, with the Ethernet connections, it may cause some kind of loops. So we call them as broadcast storms or indefinite loops or continuous loops for a period of time. So let's see how exactly it happens. So let's say assume that both the links are working. So let's say in my network, now how the loops exactly occur is, if you take this example here, in this example, if the computer here wants to communicate with another computer on the switch C, so the packet goes from the computer to the switch, and typically when this switch doesn't know the destination address, let's say normally what happens is whenever we talk about something called broadcast, so the broadcasts do occur in your network. Now these broadcasts generally occur if in some cases, like we have seen when we are using an ARP protocol. So typically ARP broadcast when the PC doesn't know the destination MAC. So typically there is an ARP request which will be broadcasted. Or you can also say that let's say the packet is sent to the switch and the switch do not have a destination MAC address. Let's say there is an unknown destination MAC address. So in that scenarios also the switch is going to broadcast. So the broadcast is nothing but it will go to out of all the ports generally. So which means the broadcast will go to out of all the ports and it will go to switch A, and from there it will go to switch C, and of course it will go to out of all the ports, but it will not come back again because we don't have redundant links. But the problem with this connection is, so this is only one path here. So the communication goes like this, but there is no redundancy. So in this case, let's say if the switch A fails or the link fails or any of this link fails, so then will be a single point of failure. So to provide some kind of redundancy, I'm connecting one more link between the switches. But the problem with this one is this will cause loops. So this will create the loops. So typically we call them as broadcast toms. Like in this example also, if you just assume both the links are working, forwarding. So the broadcast will go from here to here, and then from here to here, and then it will come back again onto the switch A. So again it will loop. Okay. So these loops will be in the network for a long time, and generally we call them as broadcast toms. And it can be how long it will be. It depends. Again, it may be few hours or few days, or unless and until you remove the extra link, the loops will be there in general. So we call them as bridging loops. So technically in the production scenarios, whenever you are connecting multiple links, so there is a possibility of loops. We call them as bridging loops. There are other problems it will create. Okay, so let me just quickly repeat. Okay, so typically it will lead to some of the problems like broadcast toms. Now the broadcast toms are like when the PC sends a request, typically an ARP request, or when the switch receives a packet, typically a broadcast packet. If the destination MAC address is unknown, it will be sent out of all the interfaces, and also it will go on this particular interface. From there it will go out of all the interfaces. Like that, it will be forwarded to the next switch, and likewise the switch C receives this broadcast, and if it doesn't know the destination MAC address, it will send out of all the interfaces and it will come back again. So we call this as broadcast loops, or in technical terms we call it as a broadcast toms, we call it as. So when a frame is forwarded repeatedly on the same link and it is receiving back on the same link. Now this will lead to some problems like the switches need to process this broadcast, and these broadcast toms will not stop unless you either you shut down the link, or the switch is down, or the network is down. So typically one broadcast packet and one extra link is enough to make your network down. So even when the PCs receives these broadcast packets on their interfaces, they need to process these broadcast packets. So that will also end users performance also will affect. So to prevent this, again there are other possible issues like we have something called MAC table instability. Now MAC table instability means these broadcast toms will also create another problem where the MAC table will not be stable. Like if you take an example, we know the MAC table of the switch. Switch is an intelligent device which maintains on which port number what is the MAC address connected. And by default, for the first time, the MAC table will be empty. So now what happens here is when the broadcast packet is received, so typically the switches will update this MAC table based on the source address, right? And when the broadcast packet is sent, the source address will be the MAC address of the particular PC, and the destination MAC address will be all Fs normally. Okay, so whenever, let's take an example, I got two switches here with the redundant links, and the PC1 here sends a broadcast request to the switch. Let's say it receives on port number 1, and now this port number 1, on port number 1 it will write down the MAC address, let's say MAC1 of the PC1. So now this will be broadcasted out of all the interfaces, and from there it will be broadcasted out of this interface also. Of course it will also do on this interface. I'm not using that interface right now. So but it will go on this interface also. Now this switch receives the same MAC1, it will write down on this port number, let's say port number 23. And then this switch doesn't know the destination MAC address. Again, what it will do, it will again broadcast. So the broadcast will come back to port number 24 here as well, and from there it will receive on this port. So which means again now this MAC1 is again written on port number 24. So again it will broadcast it here. So this will again lead to something called MAC table instability. MAC table will not be stable because of this continuous broadcast. So basically this is another problem you may generally see. Apart from that, you also see something called multiple copies of the frames will be received across the destination. Like here, when this PC is sending a broadcast, it will be sent out of both the sides, right? So which means basically the end device may end up receiving multiple frames. Okay, so switches generally sends the unknown destination out of all the interfaces, which means the end users will receive the multiple frame copies, resulting generally sometimes this will result to some kind of application failures or some other issues. So these are typical problems you will see when you have redundant paths. Redundant means multiple paths, multiple connections between the switches, and a broadcast packet. So this is enough to create a big problem for you, and these are the possible problems which you will face when you have multiple links between the switches.